afternoon, church. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was a bit late arriving here after my colleagues. I was in Western Kenya. We were mourning the chair of the Luhya Council of Elders yesterday. And when my brothers told me they would be here to celebrate this day with this congregation, I said I'll come and join them this morning. And we're truly honored to come here with our brother Kalola to celebrate this day with his congregation, with a great friend of his, Reverend Dr. Mathews. We've seen you with our brother, not just yesterday, I think for many years you have been together. And we came here with him to celebrate your service to God and to the church. 40 years is not a short time. If you're on this side with me and Rigiji and Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, upande wa siasa, ungeanza kuita yule mtu wa 40 years. Lakini kwa bahati mzuri you're in a different lane, where we're not just talking of 40 years ya siasa kama hii kazi yetu. Sababu wanasema huyu Kalonzo amekuwa kwa siasa 40 years, mtu ya 40 years. You're ridiculed. But looking at your service to God for these years, you have one thing in common with your friend and brother Kalonzo. Not just because you come from the same county or the same region, but you've both been very religious men. And service to God through you and service to the nation through Kalonzo for 40 years has been a service of integrity. And that is what we are here to celebrate today. We have seen pastors, we've seen reverends, we've seen bishops that you have raised, people you have mentored. We have seen choirs here, and I've seen many choirs. I was just telling Reverend here, but that AIC choir, Ziwani, I think that is an excellent choir. Indeed, it's a splendid choir, and Reverend was just telling us the history, where you came from, the years, and it's just part of the many good things that he has done in his 40 years. And as we celebrate these 40 years, we want to thank Bishop for giving us the opportunity to also ask the church that where our nation has reached today, we need to work together. Tomorrow we'll be celebrating the 63rd Madaraka Day. And on the eve of Madaraka Day, many Kenyans are very worried. We've just come out of a great tragedy. Our children, almost 16 of them, lost their lives in a very tragic fire. I listened to Reverend speak about praying with the girls, State House girls. We want to ask that you also pray for our children of Tumishi. Their families are traumatized. We pray for their souls. But we also pray for the government to ensure that we have the right policies to prevent such. They are preventable. And these are things that even as we mourn with those families and we ask for prayers for those who are still injured, we want to see policy changes to prevent such tragedies that we have had in our country. The most recent was in Darasha, in Nyeri, and we ask for your prayers. But also, many Kenyans are worried. I've just come from the western part of the country, where we are on the border with Uganda. When you look at Swam border in Trans Nzoia, you come to Lwahaha border in Bungoma, all the way to Malaba, to Busia. Kenyans are very worried because those border counties are actually in danger because of this Ebola outbreak in DRC Congo. President Museveni has closed his border. The border of Kenya and Uganda has been closed. Museveni does not want Ebola coming into the Ugandan borders. President Trump has said even his own citizens who are infected are not allowed back home on American soil. Yet our country has opened our borders for these Ebola patients. As we speak, they are already in this country. Even by the time we're being told of what has happened, some had already enter the country. And plans are going on for this center, Ebola center, to be set up in Laikipia. Would like the church to join us. Would like to hear the voice of the church. We as the united opposition have spoken out about this because we know the danger that this will put our country in. I was your minister for devolution when the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. The church was the hardest hit. You remember churches were closed. There was the issue of reducing the number of those who would be allowed in. And Ebola would be a worse pandemic. And that is why we are saying, just the way the Americans have said they do not want Ebola on American soil, Ugandans are saying the same. We, the people of Kenya, are also saying we do not want Ebola in our country. And we want to tell this government, and any responsible government should look at putting Kenya first. Serikali hii wajiita Kenya kwanza, but in this case, hawajaweka Kenya kwanza. They are looking at the American dollars. 1.7 billion is not worth the life of Kenyans. Na hii ndio tunaambia serikali to be responsible to ensure that this does not happen, because our American lives more valuable than Kenyan lives. And this is not just about this deal about Ebola. We had the issue of Haiti. Mheshimiwa Kalola and I opposed that. We went to court, orders were granted against the deployment to Haiti. America is very close to Haiti. Kenya, we are almost over 11,000 kilometers away from Haiti. But Americans could not put American boots on the ground in Haiti. But they were willing, because the Kenya government was willing, to give our soldiers, our officers there, to put Kenyan boots on the ground. And we lost people. Kuna wale walienda Haiti wakarudi maiti, and we are still saying American lives are no more valuable than Kenyan lives. So please stand with us. The church has also been on the forefront on the issue of overtaxation of Kenyans. We want to say as a united opposition that the united clergy working together with us can get this government to listen to the overtaxation of Kenyans. The finance bill coming in the next 2 weeks will see more taxes being brought through this finance bill. So the church, we want to ask you, let us stand together, remain the voice of the voiceless, and let us continue speaking for Kenyans. Asanteni sana na Mungu wabariki.